from the boys over on that Splyce squad. You can tell they're ready for this one. Definitely looking to recover after a pretty brutal loss that they suffered in the hands of Panda earlier on this evening. A big matchup ahead of them now, though, against Echo Fox. You've got to look out for Kyle and Clouts, of course, after a bit of a transfer from United. The maps that we're going to see, once again, just to reiterate, Dam Map 1, Reclaimed Map 2, and a Foundation Map 3. And I believe the game is underway. You can already see the Splyce boys communicating pretty well, so we'll jump into that as quickly as we can. Not miss out on any of the action.
Yep, indeed, and look who it is, Identities. We're going to start off things. Many herald him as a top 3 player in some opinions, especially in the 1v1 area, and that is where he's going to shine most right here, right now, taking out Carl and pushing up for that B.
I absolutely still adore those Splyce skins, by the
Same.
way. It just makes it look so beautiful. But for any of those newer viewers out there, Toby, that may be joining Gears of War Esports for the first time, I'll just break down Escalation.
Escalation, well, similar to the modes of domination from Call of Duty or Strongholds from Halo, I say it all the time. But what I like to say at that point is there is a huge twist, of course. If one team gets a triple capture, that is an instant round win, regardless of the score. Of course, that is first to 210. It is a rounds-based system, so it's first to 7 in a map. And you've also got the heralded weapon placement screen in between the rounds for the losing team to try and change things up with a power weapon placement. And you also have the respawn timer increasing every round to up the ante.
Yes, starts off at 10 and goes up every 2 seconds until halftime, and then everything resets. Our map will be flipped. But let's take a look at Clout's perspective now from Echo Fox. He has the support there of Franco. Franco actually able to find that kill on Choche. As it stands, you look at the score, 108 to 69. 2 hills in the advantage of Echo Fox. Just Splyce controlling that A hill. Of course, that's going to be their home hill. And this B, this pumping station hill, Toby, is so difficult to break if you allow a team to get a full setup. In your opinion, what's the best way of breaking in?
Honestly, it's not often actually going in for that hill, but actually trying to draw the attention away by going through the pit area, looking to draw the attention of the enemy held up at that pumping station towards their home hill, and at that point try and make a quick rotation. I think that's the typical strat for teams anyway. It seems to be the most successful one. Splyce have gone in head into the players here of Echo Fox, but it hasn't turned out well.
Yeah, they tried to make that kind of smart play. They drew a little bit of attention over towards that C flag. They were able to capture that home hill. The defensive play from Franco and Kyle was just too much over at B, so they weren't really able to get their foot in the door there. You can see the lead now, 174 to 125 as it stands. Echo Fox just need the 1 hill, Toby. That is all, and they will be able to win this first round. However, you can see they have no reason whatsoever to give up this B hill. I mean, they were in a good position to have a good setup. The players from Splyce are trying to flood in once again, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
It doesn't seem like Rocher's already in a 3v1 situation before he even get his foot in the door almost. And actually, we hear the screams of Echo Fox getting ready, getting hyped in only the first round. I think we're in for yet again another passionate game.
Franco is very loud.
Yeah.
I remember the first time my experience of Gears of War Esports, Franco scared me a little bit. Not gonna lie, started shouting. I was like, "Oh my God, is he gonna kill me? Like, what is going on?"
Shouting at me?
Turns out he's actually a very lovable guy.
Yeah.
One of the nicest people in the Gears Pro circuit. But if you're playing against him, oh, I pray for you. Put it that way. I pray for you. And you know, energy as well. Something we should really talk about. It's important to kind of get those energy levels up, especially when you end up against a team like Splyce, who a team, like you said, you know, they're not afraid of being energetic themselves. Boltok placed on the map as well, Toby.
Yep, indeed, close to that B hill, aka the pumping station. And I touched upon this earlier, right, Ben? Me and you like to go into the weapon placement dynamic and the meta of that. The Boltok is now being used a bit more effectively. It's more of a power weapon, and people are actually taking it into the close quarter battles. It's even reaching the amateur ranks from when I'm playing myself on game battles that teams and players...
You're not an amateur, Toby.
Like to use this Boltok in the close quarter battles to influence these 1v scenarios.
I know Waldo was doing some weapon statistics. He was trying to figure out the damage at a certain range, and the Boltok, it's pretty lethal at times. So if you use that thing correctly, it's definitely going to do the damage indeed. As it stands, though, Splyce actually getting a couple of players down. And Echo Fox could be in trouble over at that B hill, and immediately see Identiv start to make his way over towards A. Has the support of Choche there as well, but Choche manages to find that kill on Speedy. It looks as if Speedy may have been able to try and break through towards that A hill. It's not going to happen. That is a fantastic response there from Splyce.
Hey, 1 minute round time limit. What more do you want?
And there's your home field advantage as well.
There we go.
We got a couple of Splyce fans out there. That's what you like to see.
Seems like more than a couple, I have to admit, Ben. And they're very loud indeed as well. And yeah, Definitely something you needed actually for Splyce to set the precedent going forward in this map. We talked about whether their heads would be low after their defeat against Panda and convincing one of that, but this is what you need, Ben. A crucial team fight win at the start, straight into B, finding those kills and immediately applying the pressure and getting that triple cap there too. And there's actually the Markser plays down, I believe, as well. Interesting point to discuss as well, I think, Ben.
You a fan of that?
I mean, right on the A and C hill, it gives you the range and gives you that sight line through the middle, trying to influence that team power. Maybe Echo Fox want to slow that down, prevent another accident happen perhaps at that team fight towards that pumping station where Splyce members can run through the middle without damage. Maybe that's the direct response there.
Potentially. Looking at Crash's perspective now from Echo Fox as the B assault once again should begin. He has put the Boltok in that back pocket. In actual fact,
here
there
it
you
is.
go. Picks up the meat shield, and that's going to be the picks already in Echo Fox's favor. You think now, surely they should be able to get good control of that B hill. However, Crash just gets fully chunked out. Cal's there to res, though. Nicely played as they manage to go for the res chain, but it's not going to work out in their favor. Dezenite to the rescue. He jumps in, and that's going to be the B hill now fully under their control.
And you know, I think it was actually Dezenite that put in that Markser damage in the back to start that whole play off. That he got the down in the back, allowed him to say, okay, shotgun time, let's get into the action, and he saved his teammate's life as well. Very well played, my friend.
And now you see Dezo once again just trying to defend this B hill already with the support of Adverse. They're able to find one, doing some nice damage. And kills going their way. Well, they're holding that mid-neutral and their home hill. So as it stands, they will be the team earning those points and trying to pull away a little bit here from Echo Fox in round number 3. Worth mentioning as well, the respawns for this one is just going to be 14 seconds, so they're starting to increase, not by too much just yet. As we take a look at Franco's perspective from Echo Fox, once again, trying to break into this B hill.
Yeah, just stacking up, ready with the respawns back in their favor to look for these kills. It's going to be KO looking for the 1B. I mean, Crash has fallen straight off the bat. KO does respond with a kill of his own, but he's severely outnumbered. Fair play battling this far and for this long, but it's going to be Dezenite that finds the kills. Choche finding a kill too. Is it going to be a triple? Yes, it is, as you can tell from that amazing heads-up display.
Yeah, nicely done there. Splyce obviously losing round number 1, turning things around, winning 2 on the trot, and then you see them getting up and getting animated. This next weapon placement coming in from Echo Fox should be an interesting one. Curious to see what they do. We'll try and get our eyes on that as soon as we can. In your opinion, what do Echo Fox need to do?
I mean, currently the spawn positions have been put down for both sides. Those are covered, so they have to play for a weapon now. It has been put down. We'll check out just a second what that is going to be. It'll be interesting, in fact. What will United want to change it to significantly now that they've lost 2, well, major team fights and many team fights, in fact, during these rounds where it has led to a loss? Or will it be significant to the point where, you know, they want to change it up and force a fight maybe at the other side of the map?
Well, not too sure actually what they put down there. Unfortunately, didn't really get to catch any of that weapon placement. But hopefully the Gears of War gods will grace us with a mini-map whenever they can. I love Waldo. Waldo's the real MVP. So it looked like it was a block up top. So Echo Fox not really wanting to mix stuff up too much with that, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a response, I suppose, in terms of Splyce winning those last 2 rounds through that B fight, that they don't want to give them an extra weapon on top. They want to give them the ability to respond, I suppose.
Kyle currently with the meat shield in hand, looking to be aggressive over towards B. It's going to be Rocher over there, though, but, well, Kyle makes slight work of him. And I brought this up earlier on. I'm curious to get your opinion from, you know, former professional player. Whenever you get kind of dropped or transferred to a team, how much of a fire does that really kind of start to fuel in your belly?
Oh, the anger. KO, of course, former Energy member way back at the start of the Gears Pro circuit. He's now on Echo Fox. We've got a lot of hyped up players in that regard from that topic. Interested to see whether that really does make the, at least passion, go towards their side when you go against teams like Splyce.
Are you a fan of kind of the energy, the hype, or do you think that's just a bit of an urban legend?
I wouldn't say it's an urban legend. I think it's definitely a benefit most of the time, but I really appreciate a coach in this regard to keep them level-headed, not get too fired up to the point where they're just, you know, skipping the basics,
not
so to
running
speak.
around like idiots.
Exactly.
AKA me. As it stands, though, this round, it's looking pretty good for Echo Fox, controlling A and B. 111 to 79 point lead. I mean, we said we wanted to see Splyce bounce back, and this is a good start for them. Of course, the round scored 2 rounds to 1. in favor of Splyce. They won the last two back-to-back. Kyle, meanwhile, trying to defend this B hill, has the support of a teammate. They've done so. There is still going to be one more player over that. This should be good for Echo Fox, unless Kyle gets absolutely just destroyed, but that isn't going to happen. As Speedy able to clean up Rocher, and all of a sudden Trip Cap coming in for Echo Fox. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah, you're right, Ben. I have to admit it, I'm not too much of a fan of that last team push at B for Splyce. They were separated, right? I was questioning for a second, Rocher, why are you trying to challenge a 2v1 at this point? You've come in way too late, the damage has been lost, but of course, the triple cap was coming in, he had no options.
Right.
But let's think about that for a second. If they pushed in as a team and waited for Rocher to get regrouped and go into that a 3v2 scenario rather than maybe two 2v1s before he came in, that might have been a completely different scenario. Yeah, maybe lots of comms there.
Could have been.
I don't know.
Ensign's going to be placed down on platform there for Splyce. You saw them consider potentially that drop shot at the bottom side of the map, but they decide against it. What's their game plan there, Toby, putting those Ensigns on platform?
I think it just gives that baby steps player, right, in between pumping station and platform, that player the ability to be a bit more flexible. Right. To look for an avenue to apply pressure more. Of course, Splyce, we know for a fact, is a team that likes to be really aggressive, and who do you have? A baby steps. Identiv's the main slayer for the team, so why not? It makes sense, but unfortunately for them, Speedy has been able to get those incendiaries really quick with a change of positioning.
And there were some good smokes as well that were actually dropped there, just trying to help with that pickup, and now we actually have a look at Speedy's perspective. Just going to launch out one Ensign, maybe a little premature there, but it has blocked off, buys him a little bit of time. Ooh. And that's a fantastic one as it lands perfectly on Rocher. Now the support comes in, the cavalry over towards the B hill. This is looking good for Echo Fox to once again take control of the mid-neutral. Meanwhile, Dezo just trying to put some shots down and doing some good damage, but I mean, you need your teammate support in these situations, and Dezo just doesn't have that right now. He's basically forced to just back away, drops the smoke, and just trying to delay any push from Echo Fox, but Echo Fox controlling that B hill, Toby, they don't need to push anything at all.
No, and rightfully so for Desnide. He can't risk getting outnumbered here. You could see using the X-ray vision, 4 members of Echo Fox stacked up, Splyce on the right, ready to push through the middle, but Desnide has to time this perfectly. He's gone in on his own. He hasn't been punished as a result. He has taken out Speedy. Here come the reinforcements, though. Finally, Desnide actually going off. He doesn't care what the casters say as the crowd erupts. Fantastic play from that Latin American player, and now it is Splyce's turn to apply the pressure at C.
And look at that, they just spring into life over the capital. One player hands over, extended all the way over towards A. It's going to be this man, Clouts, keeping Echo Fox alive for now. The question, how much time can he buy his team to try and get their own hill? Oh. That's a good start, there's one. Clouts looking to try and shut down Rocher as well. He needs to at least touch the hill, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to do so. A now being taken once again, but C should be neutralized potentially. In fact, no, the fight's still going on. Kyle has fallen, and the A hill will be captured. Just when you thought Clouds had done enough, Splyce fight back, and there will be 3 rounds to 2 now in their favor.
And they're getting pumped, they're getting fired up, and so are the crowd, Ben. This could be an escalating situation for Echo Fox. Oh, no pun intended, but...
Wow, we're kicking off Friday with
well,
that.
Well then, it is now Echo Fox's turn to the bus has come in for Toby Campbell. But
can we get him back to the hotel? Looking at the bottom side, talk.
All right, well.
What was Echo Fox's plan with that? Is it just try and spread the fights out a little bit?
Maybe we touched upon it, right? Splyce winning the team fight, they want to mix it up. Incendiaries worked in the favor of Team Echo Fox.
It's true.
Perhaps I would have liked them to just keep going for that, keep what's working. But with that torpo at the bottom side of the map too, then is when you can start debating with yourselves, okay, let's send a bit more resources to this. Let's give them B at the start and look for power and control instead.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
That's the best motto to live by.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, looking at Speedy's perspective now from Echo Fox, we see that B hill still completely neutral, but Talk has been picked up, and more importantly, Speedy's actually been able to wrap that all the way around towards that B hill. So this is only going to aid that fight, and you can see the numerical advantage that Echo Fox has, and that was a fantastic Talk right there, landing clean on adverse, and Speedy's still alive. Is he going to fire one blind through the smoke and connect? Doesn't look like it for now, but Splyce have to respect the fact that Speedy has that and he's able to make plays with it, but as I say that, Rocher, nah, he ain't got no respect. Picks up the meat shot, looking to try and finish off Crash well, but he's managed to dip out of that one. 52% health, he's actually pretty weak. Crash down to 43%, but does manage to get out of it 38%. So nicely played that by Crash, and at this point, we're at big respawns, Toby, 20 seconds. Every kill is absolutely crucial.
Indeed, and maybe setting up a B is a crucial factor and really allowing control and dictating the pace of these spawns now, sitting back, playing it safe. I mean, Echo Fox have won here. They did fall asleep, though, I have to admit. When Rocha pushed in, got those 2 kills, I was shocked. You have you have control, do not allow that. It's certainly a mistake on Echo Fox's part. Crash's Bolt Hawk has made up for that, I have to admit. Lovely use in the close quarter battles as we were touching upon earlier. But you might be able to set up a B and go for this double cap control, but you also have to account for this torpo respawning soon, of course, Ben, which seems like Splyce is setting their goal to now.
Yeah, you can see they're definitely playing around this side of the map. They recognize the importance of it. They are down as well in this round, 134 to 99 points. 2 hills controlled by Echo Fox, the A and B. Meanwhile, Splyce just controlling our home hill. As now Choche springs into life a little bit. We'll see if he's able to try and help his teammate out in the action. Designated teams, he is going to fall. Meanwhile, Identis was able to trade there on Franco. Now you see the action really start to develop over at this C hill. Inson's already used its clouts, and he has another one in his back pocket. They are going to cap Splyce's home hill, but they've lost their own hill. That's going to be Choche on the other side of the map, just being a little bit of a nuisance here, recognizing that, hey, Echo Fox players are going to be coming off spawn here. He needs to be aggressive. He's going to try and take that fight straight to them. C hill now once again is going to be neutralized. It's looking good, though, Toby, for Echo Fox.
Yeah, ideally, I'd like to see Echo Fox return now, regain their home hill. Don't play too fancy. Just stack up on the numbers as they are, actually, against Choche. They only need 1 to finalize this one for 210. They are going to find it comfortably stacking up on their home hill. And of course, that will be textbook for them.
Choche, you want to get in the action there, buddy. There we go. Starts to make his way, but a little too late. I'm not sure what he was looking at mid-map. You're running out of time. Your teammates have already gone past you despite you being the first man there. I feel like that's one of those situations where you just kind of have to try and make that hero play. If it doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work, but you could potentially win your team the round right there.
Perhaps a bit of a lapse of concentration. Maybe, you know, hesitant communications. Let's go here, let's go there. Neither here nor there, though, as we go into second half. It is all squared up. I think, Ben, we can both agree that we didn't expect this.
No,
we thought, you know, maybe the favorite team Echo would be this is their map pick too, so you'd expect them to be in the lead at this point.
I thought they were going to run away with it. I mean, you brought up the valuable point that, you know, this was one of Echo Fox's stronger maps. Curious to see how much have they practiced on it since making a couple of team changes. A couple of different players can vastly change the way you're going to play a map. I mean, just massively. A momentary pause there, but it seems like everything has been resolved rather quickly. Not a tactical timeout, as I like to utilize when I am down, but still, of course, this game is still 3-3. We're at the second half. The map has now been flipped, and we're back down to our 10-second respawns. Of course, all weapons removed off the map. Let's take a look at Clout's perspective, as he just wants to try and defend the E-hill.
And right now, Echo Fox, they have control of E, but they are losing F very fast. I think that's actually going to go the way of Splyce too. Not sure if they're going to try and turtle up for a second at E and try and apply pressure. The other side, bring up the overhead. There has been a 1v win, a crucial one for Echo Fox on the side of Pumping Station, giving them that trip, that journey and line to towards the enemy hill, but Choche is going to get taken out in the middle hill too, so Echo Fox might be double capped right now, but it's definitely in a good position to respond here.
Yeah, and all they need to do at that point is just hold that E-hill, wait for players to come off spawn, and then they can cap their home hill, and that's the exact plan that they're going to go with there. You see the F-hill being taken. I believe that's Speedy who's actually doing that. Meanwhile, Clouds, he's still over at this mid-neutral, just being a nuisance. This is all he needs to do. He can wait for the cavalry to arrive, give him a little bit of support, but he's done such a good job anyway. I mean, there's nothing Splyce can do right now. They cannot break into platform. Clouds just being such a thorn in Splyce's side. And you see he has that support whenever he needs it. He can call for it, and that support's coming from both sides. Now they actually have Identity's actually running on the back foot. He's going to get caught out there. Clouds cleans him up and immediately springs into life over towards the D-hill.
Yeah, you're right. Clouds, his positioning was fantastic there. Always moving side to side, looking left and right. Where's the next team fight? Where can I help? And he always found the numbers advantage. And it did end up in the kill in the end. He is going to get dropped here, though, as Splyce do actually make a good response and capture E in the process. And now they have their opportunity. They can set up against this team.
That was really smart play from Splyce as well. They recognized, hey, you know, Clouds, he's getting a little bit of team support, and then all of a sudden they push down that bottom side of the map. They push that pit side with a numerical advantage at that time, right? Because Clouds is essentially as good a positioning as he was in. He was out of position in terms of defending that mid-neutral hill and kind of cost him. But you see Echo Fox, they have no problem losing that E hill. They desperately just want to charge back in, but it's going to be Choche who manages to just defend it. In comes the push, though. Crash has other ideas. He finds one. Now will he be able to recapture that hill for Echo Fox? It looks good. And look at the score as well, Toby. Bear in mind, first round here in the second half, 170 to 161. This one could go all the way down to the
It's a very interesting one as well. Splyce are actually in the score lead here, despite what seemed like Echo Fox turtling up on the E hill for the majority of the round. You see, actually pushing that spawn hill has been the deciding factor in this score lead, but right now it is getting even Stevens here. The E hill is in contention. Rocha is putting in work, and so is Identives with that double kill. The crowd know exactly what's going on right now. Identives going off. He's actually looking for more here.
I mean, I don't blame him. Push through, try and keep the pressure on, and it's going to be a plan which works out nicely for them.
Oh.
And that will secure the win for that round for Splyce.
Indeed.
Nicely played from them. The question, though, can they keep that up, Toby? That is what is going to be on a lot of people's minds. Can they keep this momentum up? I mean, they're drawing off the energy of the crowd, it seems. The crowd definitely getting behind them, Toby.
Yeah, certainly. I think the second half on Dam, if nothing else, is a more volatile setup of hills. That E hill is very difficult to set up on. It actually on the point, as we discussed in that round, rather than the pumping station. Definitely, maybe I wouldn't describe it as map control as such. What I would describe it as is maybe the opportunity to apply a spawn trap if you push up far enough. If one team is so dominant in the slaying department, they have the opportunity then to get that spawn trap. And I'm wondering right now whether either of these teams will succumb to that, you know, or will it continue to be back and forth? What I've seen on Dam, at least as my time as a caster during these or going through these LAN events, is Dam has become a lot more about turtling up on this E hill and trying to make the right decisions at the right time.
And that can be so tough, trying to make those decisions in real time. Never an easy task, that's for sure. As it stands out, it is Splyce that have the lead. Adverse looking for another pick, but maybe gets a little overzealous there. Rolls in straight towards Clouds, and Clouds is going to find himself a very easy pick. And now, of course, the battle for that E hill will once again begin. It is Splyce who managed to get early control of it, and they're also building themselves a bit of a lead.
I mean, Cloud's trying to pick his positioning once again. He's trying to be, as you said, the thorn in the side of Splyce, but he's not going so close he can get outnumbered, but he's still putting in the damage. That's what you want to see from a star player, and he's close enough as well that if the situation develops, if his team push in straight off respawn, he's there to make an impact.
Clouds, I think, may have anticipated him to actually pick up that kill, but he managed to be able to tap him way back up. Not going to happen. Rocha has other ideas. Simply not going to allow Clouds to get away with that one. And now Splyce really getting some good control on the map, it seems, Toby. They've not looked really since capping at the very beginning as if they were going to lose this E hill. Rocha still there, spraying down some shots, and you can see through that X-ray mode exactly where those Echo Fox players are. And it's just good defensive play. I mean, it's not overly defensive, though. You can see they're not afraid to push up. But Crash now goes in on the flank. He finds one. Detonite there for the trade, though. And once again, Splyce control the E hill.
Man, I'm loving this play from Splyce, actually. They get the necessary kills, but they don't overextend. And overextend in other esports is described as a negative term. But right now, they are extending onto the enemy hill because they've got enough kills to perhaps get a triple cap. They've chosen their opportunity, their poison, if you will. But will it lead to the victory here?
D-Hill now is completely neutral. Splyce looking to close out this round with a triple cap. Curious to see if anyone from Echo Fox is going to try and overextend elsewhere. I don't think they're going to be able to do so. Crash, though, still alive and looks to try and find two. Crash, I don't know how he stayed alive that long. Has he bought his teammates enough time? That's the question. Splyce, they may have actually just kind of messed this one up almost, but you look at the score, Toby, it is a massive, massive lead. 177 to 94, and I think they actually just wisely back away from that one, recognizing, hey, you know, we probably could have closed that one out. We didn't, but now actually they need to be careful they don't get trip cap themselves, because in comes Kyle, recognizing he needs to put the pressure on this F-Hill.
Honestly, at that point in time, I thought maybe Splyce could have pulled out earlier and played it safer and kept more lives. But at this point, Speedy is going to be going in for the kill. Choche will respond, and rightfully so, Splyce will send all their response, all their members to the F-Hill. I'm questioning right now whether the Splyce can keep this up. They have the 5-3 lead. They're looking to bring a map win here. Hopefully they can, at least for their sakes. Yeah, definitely. As I was alluding to as well, it was such impressive play in the middle that they didn't go for the triple cap. Maybe after the first few kills, they didn't get overzealous. At times, Splyce have been criticized as being a bit too over aggressive, just a tad, but they didn't there. That's really impressive for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those signs where you can look at and say, hey, here's a team who's clearly kind of learning and adapting and improving, which is always nice to see. Now, of course, Echo Fox back on weapon placement. Are they going to go for Torque on that platform? Looks as if that's going to be their game plan, putting it straight on well, above the E-Hill, Toby. Are you a fan of that?
It's an interesting choice, certainly, the Torque bow specifically. When you place it there right in the thick of battle, I don't think... Well, it's at least going to be very difficult to pull off a shot quickly. We look to a boom shot, you can pick that up and fire it immediately. Suicide, right? The Torque bow is going to be a bit more difficult to do that. I would have maybe assumed people would put it down in the pumping station to give that line of sight on the battle, but instead they put it right in the heat of it. So I'm not sure. Maybe Echo Fox have that in the back of their mind. They understand Splyce with their aggressive attitude might go for that, and they might punish for them.
Maybe act as a little bit of bait.
Yeah.
Just dangle that Torque out there and say, hey, Splyce, you want Torque? Haha, here's a Torque. But as it stands, no one goes for it just yet. You see Avarice, he wants to just try and help his teammate out, but maybe just try to help out a little too much. Franco will clean him up, and Franco looking for more once again on the E-Hill. That was a fantastic shot right there to actually shut down Rocha on that E-Hill. And now you'll see them spring into life over towards D. Cal's already over there, putting down some damage, waiting for his teammates to get there, but may have just backed off a little too much. Wants to stay on that hill. You want to keep capping it here. You don't want to just back away. I'm not sure I agree with that, to be honest, Toby.
Honestly, backing out at that time I agree with. What I don't agree with is how they were approaching beforehand. If you're you need to jump in, and you need to jump in fast and find those kills immediately. There might be smoke, you might be stunned, but maybe a bit of hesitation from the two members there of Echo Fox.
As it stands, they do have themselves the lead, 68 to 44 points. ENF still in their control, and you see Franco looking for a cross-map Torque. You won't do it, Franco. Nah, Franco doesn't have what it takes.
Yeah, I think an interesting point as well about this Torque bow is the sightlines it provides. Echo Fox have been setting up and turtling up on this E-Hill a bit more than Splyce, and as a result, they can, start to use this Torque bow as a real deterrent for Splyce. Look, they're right at the back as we bring up the overhead. They have to do one all-out push and hope they do not get stuck by the skilled play of KO.
Like this is where those smoke grenades can be so important. You just want to block off one of those line of sights, and all of a sudden you have kind of free roam to just kind of push Franco. Not allow him to get anything going with that Torque bow. Identives, meanwhile, just bouncing back and forth, tries to go for the disrespect. Not gonna happen.
There we go.
Franco both find two, and once again, this is where you expect to see Echo Fox spring into life over towards that deal.
Yep, they've got 3 kills in a row. They use the Torque bow well. Choche manages to get 1 kill, and so does his teammate, but there we go. That's big. There's an win in that one day. Indeed.
So sneaky, breaks that E-Hill, and immediately everyone from Echo Fox is like, hey, how the hell did he just do that? The D-Hill will be regained, and it does go big hit. Splyce could start to... Never mind.
Oh,
never mind.
Here comes Splyce, though.
Just too good. Now, this is looking very, very good for an Echo Fox round. They can win now just off 1 hill. As it stands, Splyce not getting any points either for themselves. Cloud's going to clean in, and I think at that point now they know that this is their game to throw away, or their round, rather. Of course, they're going to prevent Splyce from getting to map point. Splyce off spawn, they're going to have to try and cap that home hill, but the damage definitely has been done. Now it just comes down to not choking if you're Echo Fox.
We got to go back to it. The Torque bow placement. We were questioning at first, maybe selected something else, put it at the pumping station, but it's just the influence of the weapon, right? It might not have got that many kills, but having that Torque bow slowed Splyce down so long that when it does come to push, they're out of time. They have 1 less team fight as a result, and when Echo Fox have that lead for that long, it is essentially impossible to come back from.
Very, very good point, Toby. Very, very good point. Now, of course, though, we will see Splyce on weapon placement. And
Hammer burst.
Fan, Toby?
I'm not a fan.
No?
I'll answer the question directly.
Very upset by that pick.
I haven't got tissues, I'd admit. But
there are tissues actually underneath the desk.
I think you're right in that, but in terms of the weapon placement, the hammer burst, Ben, let's be honest, I don't see it influencing the team fight at the E-Hill, and there's a Torque bow there. I think it's just basically a no weapon placed.
Yeah, it's just a throwaway. If nothing else, I mean, we'll see if anyone even remotely goes to pick that bad boy up. Meanwhile, the fight over towards E definitely underway. Dezenide looks to try and find a couple of picks, but managed to land a few shots, nothing else though, and now has to wait for his team support, and the team support should be coming. Identives has managed to get his hand on Torque. Look out for him to potentially try and make a play with that. And speaking of him, there he is. I don't think he's going to connect with that first shot. Can he find the second? I mean, that's Franco wide open. He's going to miss that by quite a fair amount there as he tried to predict where Franco was moving. Unfortunately for him, unsuccessfully, and that's a big down as well.
Wow. That damage. That damage on Identives just got him killed. Fantastic play. Whoever fired that one. And it is going to be KO picking up the Torpo too. It's interesting as well, because the Torpo was picked up by Identives, but on the other side of the platform, he was in control of Echo, and they had numbers there. That Torpo is never going to influence that battle. Afterwards, Echo Fox, as soon as they won that initial one around that pit area, they're just going to take cover. And Identives was unable to do much and even got taken out at the end.
And once again, we find ourselves in this familiar position. Echo Fox just defending that E-hill, more than happy to absorb a little bit of pressure. Dezo tries to spring into life here. Has that smoke grenade that he can use to his advantage. There's going to be a couple of players. He's going to find them right in front of him. Is he able to clean up? Yes, he is. Speedy goes down. Rocher shuts down Crash as well. Numbers advantage now in favor of Splyce here as they look to retake control of that E-hill. The question, though, Toby, will they get greedy? Will they push for the trip cap? In actual fact, they are. They're going for the trip cap, and everyone from Echo Fox just falling like flies. The E-hill still neutral. I think Splyce is going to get it. They are. Map point Splyce.
That's huge. That's massive, and you could hear how much it means to the players of the top Latin American team on home soil here.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, or bad news bears, as Blaze would say, but we have seen Splyce go 1-0 up in series before and kind of throw them away.
You are right.
They definitely need to try and close this one out here comfortably. You know, if you can win this 7-4, not let this go to a round 13, you're going to have so much more confidence heading into map 2.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Splyce, maybe one of these teams that can tilt, given not the opportunity, but you know the right environment for that. 6-4, it's not a huge score lead despite being on map point. Echo Fox going with a no weapon placed up top as well, Ben. That's a matter of discussion. Just keeping it basic. There's hammer burst up top. They're not going to be influential, in my opinion, of the team fight. They're keeping it fixed on
I feel like they know they can win that fight down low, and they know that if they are able to get control of Torg, you know, good things are going to happen for them, but you just cannot get outslayed like that early, and that's going to be the problem. 3 down already, and realistically, this should be the map here. There's no reason whatsoever why Splyce shouldn't already be on that F-hill. See players flooding over towards there. I don't think anyone is going to be able to contest that at all. Speedy's going to be the first man up, but he's the no man's land. Splyce find themselves now 1 map up.
Lovely job from Splyce. The crowd do roar. Look at Identiv standing up on the right. He knows what has just come through for him and his team. Fair play, Ben. Got to give it to them. 7-4 is not a bad score against Echo Fox.
Now, just to kind of talk a little bit about Echo Fox here as well, we will touch on Splyce also, but in your opinion, what kind of went wrong for them there? Was it maybe not playing that weapon placement as well as they should have been?
It was definitely more of a dry game, I suppose you could say. There wasn't much action in terms of the weapon placement.